So for today, for this lecture, I'm going to actually open an example. It's going to be the walking ball example to help demonstrate what I'm talking about. Here we go. Okay, so we have my shot cam here on the left, and we've got my perspective view here on my right. Let me just unhide my curves, and I'm going to select only my curves. So if I hit play, we got our dude just taking a few steps. And so using this example, I'm going to show you guys the functionality of the yellow slider. So the yellow slider is very, very similar to the green slider. Essentially everything that you want to achieve using the yellow slider, you can do with the green also, and vice versa. But it'll really depend on the situation you find yourself in, or it'll really depend on the amount of keys you're using, and it'll depend on um, where those keys lie in your timeline. I've noticed that I've found myself often using the green slider for big changes, like big changes, almost overall changes, with the ability to scale and stuff. But the yellow slider with the tweening and stuff, I found really useful in working in smaller chunks, maybe a set of 2 to 3 keys, or maybe just 1 key. So go ahead, let's go ahead and jump right in. So I'm going to select this control. It's pretty much the cog control, the center of gravity. And I put my TY here. We'll use the TY curve as our example. So if we play through, we can see that he's going up and down and up and down. We can see that I only have it animated up to here, and then it's cycling from this point on. And so just like with the green slider, we can enable overshoot if we want, and it'll give us the ability to blend or tween from, instead of all the way to 100, but a little bit past 150. Like I said, this is pretty useful for getting overshoots and stuff. And so the first one I'll start with is a tweener. This is probably the setting that it's at by default, and the name tweener comes from the term in-betweens, pretty much the frames in between your keyframes. And so if you scale either to the left or the right, let's use between here, for example, between 7 and 10. Let's say on frame 8, if I want to create a key here, if I scale all the way to if I slide all the way to the right, it'll give me it'll give me a key that's closer or favoring the key on the right. And if Control Z back, if I slide all the way to the left, it's going to give me a key that's favoring a key that the keyframe to its exact left. And so going through these, that's pretty self-explanatory, but there are few that are actually really awesome, especially for doing walks, or like if you need to block something in really quickly. So this tweener world space, what this does actually is it will tween based off of the position in world space, and it will disregard any space that it's in, like its parent space, or essentially any hierarchy it has above it. It will use its location in space. And to demonstrate that, I'm going to reference in another rig. Let's see, ball legs. Here we go. Cool. And I'm going to hide this guy. And this guy we have right here, we can see that if let's say I'll set a key at 1 and I'll set a key at 10, right? And then let's say, for example, that I'm going to set a key on 1 and 10 for this foot. And you can see that they move, and you can see that in my graph editor for my foot, there are no values changing. So if I were going to do an in-between on 5, if I were to use the normal tweener, right, it would give me a key, but it wouldn't give me any difference in value, only because there are no values actually changing, right? It's not the foot that's moving, it's the node above it, the very, very top node, which is this one. And so what what tweener world space does is, like I said, it only takes the world position value. So if I were to use the tweener world space instead of the normal tweener, if I do a tween here, it'll begin to blend back to where the foot was in world space, even though those values aren't represented here. You can see that this was moved out and it's going back to default here. That's really useful if you're trying to fix maybe sliding feet or maybe some kind of contact that's not quite um, you know, stuck in place where it should be and it's sliding around a little bit. That's what the world space is really useful for. Okay, so let me just go ahead and delete these keys real quick. Cool. All right, so the next one we have is blend a buffer. This one's really cool too. I'm gonna unhide our, oh, sorry. Actually, there we go, cool. So I'm gonna use this one for our next example. And back to our TY, if we go blend a buffer. So if you guys are unaware of what buffer is in the graph editor, if you hit view, and you can see here that it'll show buffer curves. To show buffer curves, let's look at the helpline. Let's see what the helpline says. Display the original shape of edited curves. You can see at the bottom left. So if once we have that turned on, let's say my peak right here, right? His topmost position. If I wanted to move this maybe higher or lower, we can see that the buffer curve is actually right there. It shows us where it came from after we moved it. And so by, let's say we make a change, right? That we want it to be a little bit lower, right? We can use the blend to buffer, blend to buffer, to blend it back to where it was before we moved it. That's really helpful for, let's say you make a change and you want to undo it, but maybe not all the way. So blending back to where you came from could be really helpful. Blend to default is exactly what you would expect it to be. It blends back to its default value. Let's see, blend to ease. This one's really useful if you use it in tandem with a lot of keys, not just singular. So I'll show you with this empty rig again. So let's say that we've got this moving in place again, 1 to 10. And to help demonstrate my point, I'm going to set this to linear, and I'm going to do bake keys. So I'm going to bake key so that there's a key on every frame. And then, hang on, TZ, here we go, cool. And now by using blend to ease, yep, here we go, we can either ease into this. If I slide it right, it's going to ease into my key on the farthest right. If I slide it left, it'll blend, or it'll ease out of the key farthest to my left, or to the farthest left, excuse me. It's really, really useful when, let's say, like if you're coming out of step mode, like you're coming out of your blocking and you're using step mode, and you know, the spacing isn't quite as tight as you would have liked it. Using these ins and outs are really useful for that. Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and keep moving. Blend to frame. So this is a lot like the scale to frame, like we did with the green slider, but I will use the other example now. Excuse me. Let me switch. What's nice about this one is, let's say, like these white boxes we have on the side are pretty much going to indicate which frames we're blending to. You can see this one is frame 1 and this one is frame 10. Which one's my frame 10? And let's actually make this one my frame on the left that I want to blend to. Frame 4. Yeah, there we go. And then if this might be a bad example since it's right between it, but if I wanted it to, or let's do one right here. If I wanted to blend to frame 4, which is right here, just slide it this way. If I wanted to blend to frame 10, I could slide it that way. That's really useful for maybe if you have a value all the way over here for some reason, and you're trying to use these two values as your peaks. Like this is the highest the character is going to go, and this is the lowest the character is going to go. It's really useful for setting those limits right here on the ends of the blend to frame. moving around. Oh, blend to frame world space. So this is really helpful in that sense too. Just like I was saying with the other one, the tweener in world space. Let me use this one again. Let's say, for example, excuse me. Let's delete this. Let's say, for example, that this character is moving in this direction. Oops, sorry. This character is moving in this direction. So you can see that it's not quite an even amount in X and Z, but we're moving in two different channels at the same time. And so if I wanted to blend to neighbors world space, if I wanted to have the foot stay a little bit longer than the entire character, and since it's not just in one axis, I can use this blend to neighbors world space in the same way. Sorry, that might be a little bit too far. Here we go. So let's say frame 1. So you can see, just like with the other one, there are no values changing here in the foot, but it's grabbing its position in world space. So we don't even have to worry about whether these values are changing or not. Cool. And then I'm going to delete all these again. Alrighty. And then the next one on the list is blend to infinity. This one's pretty nice, especially if for some reason, let's say you have a shot and you have a character that's moving. Let's say you have a character that's flying, or if you have a character that's running at the same speed throughout the entire shot, right? And for some reason, at some point, that character has to change direction. Maybe there was a change made in your shot that, like, okay, at this point, we want him going this speed, but right at this point, we want him to make a hard left, or maybe we want him to slow down a little bit. Instead of having to calculate the infinity amount manually, you can use this blend to infinity. And I'll show you what I mean. So you can see here that my post, my post infinity, tangent is on cycle at the moment. If I hit it to linear, it's going to continue in this value all the way until infinity, right? And so if I were to set a key here, and I were to set a key, oh yeah, I guess we can just use this one. If we blended to infinity, it would blend to, if this were on linear, it would blend to the amount that it would consistently be moving at if it were post-infinity linear. And the opposite can be said if these tangents were facing up instead. Let me Control Z back that so it doesn't mess up my walk. Cool. Blend to infinity world space. So this is another example of sorry, let me hide this and unhide this. Let's say we wanted our foot, or no, let's say, yeah, I mean, essentially we could use the exact same example. If we wanted our character to be moving in that constant, let's say, there we go. So it's a little bit more different. If we wanted our character to be going this far, let's say we have our character moving this far and blocking, and we get a change, or we get a note saying that's great. The character is moving the correct direction, but we want him to be moving twice as far. So we can essentially just set a key here, or twice as long. Sorry, we want the character to be moving twice as long. So if we just blend to infinity, it'll continue the way these tangents are going. Cool. Let me delete those and go back to my original example. Blend to undo. So this one's a lot similar to, this one's a lot similar to blend to buffer, or the difference being is that With blend to undo, let's say this was our change, and then we wanted to blend to undo. We would be essentially just blending it back to the change that we most recently made. The biggest difference in blend to buffer is that you should be able to move this more than once, right? This will all be registered as actions that you can undo, right? Whereas blend to buffer, your buffer is still down here. So you can move this as many times as you want, and you would still have your buffer down here. Whereas your undo would only blend to the most recent change that you made. Here, for an example, a blend to undo. Or let's say if I moved it once, and then I moved it another time, it would only go as far as that most recent change that I made. But that's pretty much up for the yellow slider. Like I said, it's really, really similar to the green slider. You can essentially achieve the same thing with both sliders. Depending on your situation, though, you might want one more than the other. And like I said, I've found that I've used the green slider for big, big overall changes whenever it's maybe over a span of like 100 frames or maybe 50 frames. Whereas like the yellow slider I've found really useful for like, you know, chunks like this. Maybe it's only from 10 to 20 frames. And so I want to go over the tangents a little bit. There's nothing quite new here. Excuse me. They're more so maybe refined versions of the tangents that are already available in Maya. But these first few ones are native to AnimBot and A-tools only. So this one is the cycle tangent. You can see that especially in a walk, right? You're going to want the tangents of the first key and the last key in your curve to match exactly. So a lot of the time, maybe you can do something like this where you do it manually, right? That's the old school way of doing it. But if for some reason they're not matching exactly, and like I said, the old school way of doing it would be to set it flat both, or set both to flat and then move them together. But if for some reason they're not like that, you can use these cycle tangents to match. And let me give you a better example. So if I adjust this one and I hit match, it will match this last tangent to the first tangent. That way it'll cycle properly. These next tangents, this one is the best guess tangent. It's going to blend to the next key based off of its best guess. So when they say best, or when I say best guess, it means that the way your curves are arranged, it's going to try and calculate whether you have a hold or an overshoot or an ease. And let's say I'll show you that for example. Let's use this guy again. And then let's say I have him go, I have him overshoot here, and then I have him snap back just a little bit there. There we go. And so if we use the best guess, there we go. It's going to fast in, it's going to overshoot, and then it's going to settle back just a little bit. And also, the same can be said is as if we were doing, let's say we were easing in instead. So let's say here, and then let's say, for example, here. And normally, if you're working in step, chances are like you'll select everything and hit auto. Best guess tangent will probably a little bit more informed than that, because you can see that it's trying to fast out of this tangent instead of easing out of it. Okay, cool. Let's go back to my other example. The next tangent is the polish tangent. So again, just like this best guess tangent, this tangent is going to find the most optimum tangent angle to make it as smooth as possible. And depending on where you are in your animation, it's really gonna dictate whether you should use your best guess or whether you should use your polish. Only because, you know, a best guess is really good at reading like easing in and easing out, overshoots, all those things that I was just demonstrating. Whereas the polish tangent will most likely just look for the angle of the tangent that'll make it as smooth as possible. This bounce tangent is super useful for when you have a hard hit and you want to fast in and then fast out of something. Let me do this one for example. So like if I were making, let's say if I were making him bounce. So let's put that to linear, and then right here I would put this at 0. Oops. Let's say I would put that there. And let's just move that one. There we go. Oops. Yeah, cool. So a bounce tangent will do exactly that. Oops, sorry. I just want the bounce there. And boing. It'll basically, like I said, fast into this tangent and then fast out of it, just like the picture suggests. And the rest of these tangents that are here are actually just native Maya tangents. They're just placed here that way. They're a little bit easier for you to get to. This is the auto tangent, this is the spline, this is the linear, and this is stepped. And just like with everything else and all the other tools, you can unpin or pin these to your toolbar or your workspace if you want. And you know, they're really up to you which one or how many you want to use. Personally, I've kind of replaced my use for auto tangent with best guess. So, you know, if you're coming out of blocking or anything like that, I'll use the best guess tangent instead of an auto tangent. It'll get me there a lot quicker. You know, when I used to use spline tangent, I would mostly use that for polishing when I wanted a little bit of overshoot or just a little bit of drift and a moving hold. You know, I'll most likely use a polish tangent instead. Okay, cool. So that's really it for the tangents. We can go over the tinting keys a little bit, but there's not really any big secret here. You know, if you wanted tint keys, as this suggests, you can tint them red, yellow, or green. You can do them by selection if you want. You just go to the frame, or you can select the chunk and highlight them or tint them that way. But if you notice, if you right-click on one of these, there's an option called Smart Tint. So what Smart Tint's going to do is it's going to tint the keys based off of the tools that you use to create that key in AnimBot. And if I'm not mistaken, let's see, let's use push and pull. So if I were to use a push and pull here, oh, maybe I don't have it. Okay, I'm sorry, this might be my fault. I think I have all my tangents in AnimBot set to red by default. Actually, maybe not. Let me check my yellow. Sorry. Tweener. Yeah, okay. Maybe it's just my yellow, but you can see that the in between that I created using the tweener turned yellow. I'll have to find out why my green one isn't working, but you know, there's not really any use behind tinting the keys beyond organization. If you were to, let's say, if you were going to convert this to a breakdown, here, let's do this. Can I do it here? I actually don't know where this is. I normally just use my shortcut. Oh, here we go. Convert to breakdown. So once I convert this to a breakdown, you can see that the frame is green. But since it's a breakdown, and you can see that it's highlighted here, green, it's a breakdown. What's going to happen is if I drag this key, you see how this relationship between these two keys and these two keys and these two keys tries to stay the same? The problem with that is you'll get this key on a subframe most of the time. So let's say I'll bring it to 8. Let go. There we go. And you can see this is at 4.5 as opposed to the whole frame that it's on. Whereas if you were to tint your key with just AnimBot, all you would be doing is tinting your key green. You wouldn't be getting the breakdown functionality of a breakdown, or the functionality of a breakdown key. And that's really it. Like I said, this one is really short, so I'm hoping you guys have questions so we can kind of fill time a little bit. I will allow you guys to unmute yourselves now.
Yeah, I might have a couple of questions.
Sure.
The green key icon is a little bit different from the other two.
I'm sorry, say again.
The green key icon.
This one?
Yeah, it's kind of different from the other.
Yep.
I guess.
It's got the three, I don't know, these
I
three
thought it was
boxes
a
right
break.
here.
Yeah, I thought it was because it was a breakdown, or not?
Is that possible? Oh, I guess it is, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you for that. I didn't know.
Also, before it was working, because when you before when you use the green slider, you got the green key or the yellow key. I don't remember the exact color.
Yeah, the yellow is working.
Yeah, but before it worked also the green one doing the same.
Oh, did it? Did I just miss it?
I think, I don't know, at the beginning of the class.
Okay.
I think maybe you have to click on the right click on the red icon, red key icon, and maybe you don't have a smart key there or something. I don't know.
No, I think I have smart tint on all of them. I don't know.
So I don't know, but at the beginning of the class, I think I saw it green because it was something that I wanted to ask you last time. Because last time when you used the green slider, you got a different color for the keys, but in my AnimBot that didn't happen, and I didn't know why. So.
Oh, interesting. I'll look at the recording again, and I'll see if that's the case. And I'll try and find out what happened there. If you know, if it's something you're interested in, I'll look into it, and then we can address it next class, or you know.
Well, in my AnimBot, if I use as I told you before, I use most of the time the green one, the green slider, and my keys are always red, so I don't know exactly. And
that's right. Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, but I saw it last time. So, and also I think I saw it before at the beginning of this class. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look. Thank you. Thank you, by the way. Appreciate it.
One little thing, you said cycle tangents. It's gonna match the two, the first and the last tangent you have, right? So it's not matter of the next key in the hypothetical cycle.
No, it will match the last key to whatever you have on your front key. So if I have it like that, it'll match that.
Okay.
If I have it the way that I would want it, which is like that, it will. Yeah, it will. No, it will match this. Yeah.
Okay.
But technically, I probably want it just like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And one thing that it really doesn't, you know, fit in this, it's not AnimBot or Maya related. May I ask you the name of the software you use for your shortcuts to see your shortcut, to let us see your shortcut when you press the Control Alt?
When you guys see like my the keystroke visualizer. Yeah. Yes, it is called Karnak.
Karnak. Okay.
Where is the chat? Karnak. There you go.
Okay. Thanks.
Sure.
And nothing. I'm done.
Okay, cool.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. Hey, Daniel, hey, Serge. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. Did you guys have any other questions regarding the lecture or not regarding the lecture? It could be about anything. We have some time to kill, so. Oh, sorry, Daniel. I had to mute you. I couldn't hear what you were saying. We were just getting a bunch of static. Okay.
Now, can you hear me?
Ah, there we go.
It's the second time today that that happens to me. Apparently, the microphone is being set by the speaker instead of the camera, so I don't know.
see.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Okay, the thing is, I'm getting a weird issue with the twin slider the last couple of days. I'm not sure if it is like an AnimBot bug or if it is something from like my rigs or something. I'm using it at work, and the thing is, when I'm using the slider to create a breakdown or something like that, sometimes, regardless of the controllers that I'm using, it kills the rotations in a couple of axes of a random, like a random control or group of controllers. And yeah, it's giving me, I don't know, it's weird. It's giving me like, instead of, I can show you the picture here attached in the chat.
Sure.
It's like, instead of red, like if it was with a keyframe, it's showing like a gray thing. So yeah, I just send it there. If you
okay, let's take a look.
So yeah, usually it takes like a couple of rotation axes. It kills the values. It shows in 0. Yeah, like that. And I don't know. Even if I go undo, it doesn't go back. Like it still clears my animation. And I found out the only way to fix it is like, I go to another frame, set a key, delete that key, and then it fixes.
Oh, huh. Okay.
It's so bizarre, and I cannot understand what's happening there.
Okay, so let me see if I can recreate the problem. So let me open up the ball and legs rig. So
the funny thing is, it doesn't happen all the time. Like it's not 100% of the times that I use a tween machine that happens. It's like sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay, so let's say if we were to set a key on 0, do you set your keys by just hitting S by keying everything, or do you key selected?
Yeah, no, I have a hotkey for S. So
okay.
I set the key, yeah.
Okay, and so let's say it looks like from the screenshot you showed me, it's creating a key on Y and Z and Y and X, but not on rotate X or rotate Z. So you're saying that when you were using the tweener, it killed your RX and your RZ?
Yes, like let's say I have some values in the previous pose, and in the next one it's not 0. And if I try to create like the tween machine to go like, 70%, 50%, whatever.
Sure.
It like for most of the controllers, it goes like it calculates the value completely fine without any mistake, any problem. But for some controllers, it happens a lot, like with the hands or the fingers when I try to do that in the rigs that I'm using. So let's say if I have all my fingers like making a fist or something like that in the first pose and the last pose, if I go to do the breakdown using the tween slider, it just opens the fingers or make them like extremely weird. I don't know. And it shows like the result is that I show you. Like it's like it's taking two rotation axes, killing the animation, and I don't understand what the gray what the gray overlap in those keys are.
Let me ask you. So it looks like the two axes that it's killing is RX and RZ. Have you checked whether your curves are hitting gimbal lock?
I haven't checked that.
That might be something to consider, because if it's only affecting X and Z, assuming that your rotation order is standard, X, Y, Z, if it's only killing RX and RZ, you might want to try maybe running a Euler filter on your curves and see if anything changes. If things do change, then chances are you're running into gimbal lock somewhere, and when it's trying to tween, it doesn't know where to put those values, which is why it's defaulting out to 0.
Okay.
You might want to try that. I'm not entirely sure, but that's just what I would assume from seeing RX and RZ being the only rotations that are affected. Only because, actually, you know what? Let's try and recreate it. Why not? We got some time. So, give me a box, and then let's go to gimbal. There we go. RX and RZ will overlap. Yes, and then we'll go into object, and then key here and key here. So up, yeah, that way. There we go. Cool. So we're in gimbal, and then let's make this a little bit more obvious. There we go. Okay, cool. So now it's just the rotations, but you said you had values in the translations also, right? Let's go, yeah, okay. Graph editor. I wonder if this is why. Okay. So, okay, so let's try this then. Sorry, bear with me, I'm just really curious. Okay, cool. Okay, no, that's still, even during gimbal lock, it's still working okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Do you have the smart Euler filter on? Or I'm sorry, do you have the latest AnimBot release?
Sorry, can you repeat that? Because this stupid speaker went off.
No, yeah, no problem. Do you have the latest AnimBot?
Yeah, I think I updated like a couple of days ago, maybe.
Okay. Do you have the smart Euler filter checked? It's this button right here.
Let me check, because I actually have seen. Yes, it's checked.
Oh,
And actually, it happened. Yeah, it happened. Like I'm still working in a shot from work. Before I realized, like, oh shit, I have class right now, so that's why I was late.
No worries.
And yeah, it happened to me like a couple of minutes before I enter into the class.
Do you have anim layer?
No, I'm not using layers, because right now I'm just doing blocking.
Okay.
So yeah, it's so weird. Like it doesn't happen all the time, just like sometimes. And
yeah, that's a good one.
I've
never run into that one before.
Or maybe, yeah, maybe who knows? Like maybe something related to the rig itself instead of the tool. But I'm gonna check the Euler filter when I'm like if it happens again, to see if that fixes.
When you're creating your tweens with this slider, sometimes when you're using your slider and you have a lot of controls selected, it might default out to another tweener, only because it takes a while to kind of register all of the things in the list. That's happened to me once or twice. if let's say I have a bunch of things selected and I use the tweener really quickly, it won't give me the tweener that I want. Instead, it'll give me another one.
Okay.
When you're creating your tween, you're sure it's on the correct setting while you're doing it. It doesn't, like, these initials don't change to like another tweener.
Yeah, no, usually it's a tweener, and most of the time I don't use the slider. Like I don't grab the center and just move it around. I just point, like I just click in one
like
of the
these.
Yeah, exactly, in the dots.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good one. I've never run into that one before.
Okay, I'll try to dig a little bit more to have more details if it happens again.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say. I'm not sure what to say about that one. I've never run into that one before. It very well could be the rig. I can't understand why though, only because tweens calculate on the values prior and after it. So if none of those values are at 0, then there's no reason for it to zero out.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking too. But yeah, it's weird. It's so bizarre.
But also it looks like he doesn't have a key there. It's like the tweener is jumping those values because the color in the channel box is
not being keyed.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, like, the way it fixes itself after I just go to another key, like any frame, and just key like all the rotations there, and then delete that keyframe. Suddenly, like all the other keys they get fixed right away. I don't know.
May I ask you two things, maybe? Which Maya version are you using? You're using?
Which what? Sorry.
Which Maya version?
Is this
16?
2018.
Okay, no. Because I had a similar problem in the viewport, but it was with the 16 and 16.5, but they fixed it then in the 17. So
yeah, I'm not sure. I have not run into that one myself. Sorry.
Also, under preferences, animation, settings, animation, you can choose to have like, but that's on character set. It's not just for the key. Where it says auto key, but it's on character set. You can choose key modify attribute or key all attributes.
Yeah.
But it's for character set. So
yeah, that couldn't. I don't see how that would be affecting the tweener though.
No.
Yeah.
Also, I have no clue.
No, I'm gonna try to figure out maybe if it happens again, to understand exactly what's going on, and maybe I can bring it up again later in the next class or something.
Cool, that'd be great.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Sorry, I couldn't be of more help.
No worries.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about? Could be anything, production related stuff, work related stuff.
No, that's okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
So I find out, 1 second, sorry. I try now to use the slider, the green one. And if you check on the smart tint key option in the red one, yeah. If you uncheck that, and if you use the green tweener, let's say, it should give you a red key. Yeah, but if you check again the smart tint key, by this way, I got a different color.
No, mine are still red.
Uh,
Yeah, that's what I was running into in class, but that's okay. I mean, we can always, you know, we can always get to that. And like I said, you know, most of these are the tinting keys are more for organizational purposes. Aside from this green one, that now that I know that it's a breakdown key, but yeah, you know, it's nothing like tool breaking or anything. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for showing up, guys. I appreciate it. If you guys have any other questions, or if there's anything you want me to cover that I'm not covering, you know, go ahead and let me know. And then I'll, sure. What's up?
May I ask you one thing?
Yeah, of course.
But I cannot find it now. It's really similar to buffer curve in the graph editor to see, but I know that sometimes I cannot find it now. A way to like template a curve. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, you can template or you can pin a curve. It really depends on.
Yeah.
You can.
What's the use of that? Because I never got to a point where I said, this is better for. But I cannot find the template curve function now.
I think you should be able to do it through curves. Oh, is it view? There was a
It was here. Maybe it changed.
The times that I've run into a template curve is one of two things. One, it's either in. Oh no, I'm sorry. One of three things. One, the object that's animated is in a templated layer. Two, it's in a reference that you're not supposed to be able to touch, or that's non-editable. And three, there are times at which like some people have templated a curve. I don't personally. Sometimes I pin them, but I don't necessarily template them. But the use out of that is so that you can compare. Let's say you're doing overlapping action down an FK chain. Let's say you're doing it on a tail or on a piece of hair or on a cape or something like that. And if you want to use that same curve, and if you want to duplicate it down the chain and offset it by like 2 frames per limb, right? Having it, having the first curve at the top of the chain templated, that way you can use it as a point of reference, is the use that I could see for it.
Oh, okay. But still, I cannot find the function now. But it's okay. I was almost sure it was there under curve, but
I think it is, but all right. I thought it was too. Again, it's not something I necessarily do, but
no, I never use it. I just remember it was there, and okay. But I understand how it could be used. Okay, thanks.
Okay, cool. I guess if there are no more questions, we can go ahead and wrap it up, and hopefully I'll see you guys on Monday.
Sure. Thank you, Steven.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much.
Take it easy.
Ciao, guys.